Star Wars, and Angry Birds. One of the two crossovers ever combined, and all together. It's very an interesting game from our childhoods that we used to play. Well, enough of that, so buckle up and let's straight into the video. Angry Birds Star Wars. Where do I begin? Don't get me wrong, I did play this game when I was 7 years old when this game came out. And it was a pretty good childhood for me when I was 7 years old. But now, I'm an legal adult. I'm 20 years of age, which I'm gonna be turning 21 years old as of this year, 2026. And when do I begin with this essay? Well, let's take a deep history of Angry Birds Star Wars at the beginning. Back in the early 2010s, when Angry Birds' popularity starts to rise, when the creators of Angry Birds, when they see their game is getting massive amount of attention for what they have done to the community and the fans. Considering the Angry Birds used to be the only good mobile game that we actually played in our childhoods. Way before we played those mobile game apps that has ads on them. But Angry Birds in the 2010s has none of that. So, the Angry Birds Star Wars has a lot of multiple crossovers. The only way to get their franchise populated is to have a bigger company to sell profit. So, they collaborated with Lucasfilms to create an Angry Birds video game adaptation of the Star Wars films. And I've gotta say, the in-game pictures does really match up in one of the movies. Well, except for this scene. Glad they didn't add that because it's pretty weird. However, Angry Birds Star Wars is clearly one of the best mobile games of the early 2010s. Except for the shitty ass mobile game ads in the 2020s. However, the game did get positive feedback and positive reviews from the critics and the gaming community. And getting win as an award for being the Golden Award from the Pocket Gamer, who gives it 9 out of 10 and 2 stars. Not gonna lie, the community loved it, which Angry Birds Star Wars was a 10 out of 10 Angry Birds game after all. After the game's release, since gained a lot of attractions from a lot of fans and players who really enjoyed the game. Not only did the game parody the entire movie franchise, but also had different scenarios when one of the characters who is still alive. But some of them stayed the same. So what happened to Angry Birds Star Wars, the most successful one, to be taken down off the Play stores and Google Play? Well, I guess we have to find out. Unfortunately, the creators of Angry Birds removed these classic games like Angry Birds Seasons, Angry Birds Ryu, Angry Birds Space, Angry Birds Star Wars, and Angry Birds Go, and then Angry Birds Epic were removed because they were built using old technology that didn't allow Rovio to keep on their modern standards. If that's true, then why am I suddenly playing it on my brand new phone, which is modern and has a lot of gigabytes, which I'll be getting into later in the next segment. But I just want to tell you this really quick. Yes, sometimes we can play old games in on our new mobile phones and devices, which are now modern, considering they are made with old technology, and that's why they can't be capable on playing it anymore. So yeah. However, the creators of Angry Birds did made an official statement about this on their blog, which I'm going to be reading you right now, which it reads: Hello everybody, all good things must pass, and end of March we will be winding down some aspects of Angry Birds Star Wars, including the in-game shop and adverts. The game will also no longer be available in the app stores from that date, but we will continue to provide player support for those who have the game installed on their devices. Until the end of 2020, we want to thank you for being part of this game. It's meant a great deal with us. Keep on flinging. It's very touchy and kind that the Angry Birds creators gave us this farewell message to Angry Birds Star Wars, since it might become lost media. But not as long, until we finally found out it's no longer lost media. However, according to the Wikipedia, in 2021 update of the remake of Angry Birds, brand director Steve Porter stated that Angry Birds Star Wars was unlikely to be re-released due to third-party licensing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Disney owns Star Wars now, just like they own Spider-Man now. Just because the game is gone doesn't mean you're no longer able to play it, because it's archived now. And you can still find it, and you can still easily play it, no matter what. You can easily free download it on some archived video game, mobile game websites, including the sequel, which I'm going to be talking in the near future. The gameplay you're actually seeing in this video was actually recorded by me on my modern phone. Considering it still works on mine in the newer versions, no matter what. Even though the creator and founder or whatever is probably gonna re-release the game no matter what, but it's still a pretty good game to actually play. It was our childhoods. Also, me playing this game as an adult was a dream come true. It's like we're living our childhoods. However, none of us actually forgot about this game. Considering this is our childhood, and we always remember it, how much it brings us joy and happiness in our lives. And also, I might consider watching Star Wars for the first time, considering I never watch any of the movies. Except for Clone Wars. I did watch the cartoon show Clone Wars, which is a Star Wars animated series, which is actually pretty good. But right now, I just want to say, no matter what we lost, no matter if we can play it, it will still be found media. Thank you all for watching, and it's a pleasant day to make a video and see about, considering this is no script. I didn't script this video, I just used my own thoughts and opinion. Thank you all for watching, and have a pleasant day. Goodbye.